Dr. Selek, and welcome back to class 11 economics. In today's session, we are going to learn the third part of unit 3, that is producer behavior and supply. It is for 13 marks in your paper. Concept which we are going to learn today in the third part of third unit is that we are going to learn the concept of supply, individual supply and market supply, which comes for 3 or 4 marks, and supply determinants or supply function, which comes for 3, 4 or 6 marks, and then the law of supply, which is for 3 marks, and then the difference between movement along a supply curve and shift in supply curve, which is of 4 marks or 6 marks. In the previous 2 parts of the third unit, we learned the concept of product, then the types of product, production function, law of variable proportion. In the second part, we learned the concept of cost and revenue and producer equilibrium. In today's part, we are going to learn the supply concept. First, let us go through the concept of supply. If I ask a producer or a firm that how much a producer he is willing to sell a quantity of his commodity in the market, then his reply would definitely be that it would depend upon the price. According to the changes in price, his supply would definitely change. If suppose the price of a commodity it increases, then the supply of the producer it will definitely increase as he will get more profit. And if the prices of a commodity would decrease, then his supply would definitely fall as he is getting less profit from his output. So according to the changes in the price, the quantities of a commodity that the producer is willing to sell, that quantities will also change. So the supply of a commodity, it depends upon the price of a commodity. Let us go through the definition of a supply. It refers to various quantities of a commodity that the producers are willing to sell at different possible prices of the commodity at a point of time. It is various quantities of a commodity. It is various quantities of commodity X. In this example, I have taken good X. So it is various quantities 10, 20, 30 units. Various quantities of a commodity that the producer are willing to sell at different possible prices. This is called as supply. And we should not get confused between the stock and the supply concept. Let us take an example. If a firm has 500 tons of wheat with him, and if he is ready to sell 10 tons in the market for rupees 500 each per ton, so that 10 tons are called as supply because that amount he is ready to sell in the market, and the remaining 490, which the amount of the stock it is left with the producer, that is called as stock, because the stock it generally refers to a quantity of a commodity that he can either use for present or he may keep it for the future. But the supply it refers to an amount of a commodity that the producer are willing to sell at a point of time in the market. So supply and stock it is a different concept. Supply it leads to change in the stock concept. So when there is an increase in supply, then the stock of a particular commodity would decline. So supply it is various quantities of a commodity that the producer are willing to sell in the market, whereas stock it is the various quantities of a commodity that is with the producer. He may use it for the present as well as he may use it for the future. So that is a stock concept. Let us go through the individual supply schedule and market supply schedule. Schedule we have already learned in the demand concept, where it is a tabular presentation of various quantities of a commodity. So in the same way here, in supply schedule, it is a tabular or table presentation of the various quantities of a commodity that the producer are willing to sell in the market at different prices. So here, let us take an example. Suppose there is a firm called X. There is a producer called X. So this producer, he is willing to sell these amount of commodities at are different possible prices. This is called as individual schedule, as it is showing only the supply of one firm, that is firm X. So if I include firm Y, that the firm Y is producing or he is willing to sell these amount commodity in the market according to the changes in the price. And if suppose in this economy there are only two firms, firm X and firm Y, so the market schedule, it is the total quantities of a commodity that all the firms are willing to sell in the market at different possible prices. So the market supply schedule, it includes the supply of all the firms, and a group of firm, it is called as industry. So in an industry, the total quantities of a commodity that all the producers are willing to sell, that is called as market supply schedule, whereas individual supply schedule, it is a total quantity of a commodity that an individual seller is willing to sell. In this schedule or in this table, the individual supply schedule is QX and PX. According to the price of PX, the firm X is changing his supply of a commodity. And when I include one more firm, suppose in this market there are only two firms, so the total production of these two firms, for example, when the price increases to rupees 10, the supply of firm X, it increases to 10 units, and the supply of firm Y, it increases to 5 units. So the total the total amount of the commodity that these firms are willing to sell in the market, it is 10 plus 5. So the market supply at rupees 10, it is 15 units. So when there is an increase in price, rupees 15 rupees, then both the firms, they also increases their supply. So the market supply is 20 plus 10. Since in this economy there are only two firms, firm X and firm Y, the total market supply is 20 plus 10. So this is the market supply, 30 units. So the market supply schedule, it is a total quantities of a commodity that all the firms in the market are willing to sell at different possible prices, whereas individual supply schedule, it is the quantities of the commodity which only a single seller is willing to sell in the market. That is individual supply schedule. And if we go through a supply slope or supply curve, it is upward slope. And to remind you all that the demand curve was downward slope because of inverse relationship between price and demand. When the price increased, demand decreased, right? So from the supply concept, it is a completely opposite, because in the supply concept there is a direct relationship between price and supply. When there is an increase in price of a commodity, then the producer are willing to sell more of that commodity because he is getting more profit. So there is a direct or positive relationship between price and quantity supply. Since there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supply, we are getting an upward slope supply curve. That is, from left to right, supply curve slopes upward when there is an increase in prices from rupees 10 to rupees 15. There is an increase in supply of a commodity from 10 units to 20 units. So there is a direct relationship between price and supply. And when the price will fall from rupees 20 to rupees 15, then since the producer is getting less profit, then also his supply will fall from 30 units to 20 units. So there is a direct relationship between price and supply. When the price increases, the supply will increase, and when the price decreases, the supply will also decrease. Therefore, we are getting an upward slope supply curve. The next very important concept which we are going to learn is the supply function. This supply function, it shows the relationship between various factors and the changes in supply of a commodity. So the study or the functional relationship between the various determinants and the supply of a commodity, it is called as supply function. So the supply function is S of X, that is supply of good X. It depends upon Px, Pr, Nf, G, Pf, T, EX, and GP. So S of X, it is supply of good X. F refers to function. Supply of good X, it is equal to the function of PX refers to own price of a commodity. That is the price of that commodity. And PR, price of related goods. NF, number of firm. G refers to goal of the firm. PF refers to price of factors of production. T refers to technology. EX refers to business expectation, and GP refers to government policy. Now let us go through various determinants in detail. So first, P of X, that is the own price of commodity. Then we have learned earlier that when the price of own commodity increases, the supply of a commodity will also increase. There is a direct relationship between price of the commodity and quantity supply of that commodity. So this first one we have already learned. Then we will go to the second one, that is price of related goods. In the related good, this determinants, it also applies in the demand concept. We have also learned this concept in the previous unit. So now in this unit, we will look from the producer's side. So in this concept, we are seeing the direct relationship between price and supply. The price of related goods, we have two, that is substitute goods and complementary goods. Substitute goods are those goods which can be used in place of one another. For example, like tea and coffee. We can either drink tea or coffee. We cannot drink both tea and coffee together. So we should opt only for one. So therefore, suppose like for example, if the price of tea increases, then the producer are getting more profit from the tea. So what the producer will do is he will decrease his production of coffee and he will produce more of tea. So this is the concept of the substitute goods, where the price of tea, that is the price of one goods, it leads to decrease in the supply of the other good. For example, when the price of tea increases, then the producer will produce more of tea and the supply of coffee will fall. This is how the price of one good affects the supply of the other good. So let's go to complementary goods. Complementary goods are those goods which are used together. For example, like car and petrol. If suppose there is an increase in price of car, then the producer would produce more of car, and also with car we need petrol. So the supply of petrol would also rise. So this is how a price of one good leads to an increase in the supply of the other good. That is the complementary goods. So in the price of related goods, the supply of one good, it depends upon the price of the other goods. As we have studied in substitute goods and complementary goods, how the price of tea affects supply of coffee and how the price of car affects supply of petrol. Now the next determinant is number of firm. In an economy, if there are more number of firm, then definitely the total production of that commodity would increase. And if there are less number of firm, then the total production of that commodity would fall. So like there is a direct relationship between the supply of a commodity and the number of firm. Higher the number of firm, higher the supply, and lower the number of firm, lower the supply. Next is a goal of the firm. In goal of the firm, we have two, that is profit and social welfare. If the goal of the firm is to maximize profit, then definitely his supply would be affected by the prices of the commodity. If the price of a commodity increase, since he is getting more profit, his supply would increase. And if the price of the commodity falls, then he is getting less profit and his supply would also fall. So according to the prices of the commodity, his supply would change. And if the goal of the firm is social welfare, that is to increase output or to increase employment opportunities, then whatever may be the price of the commodity or whatever may be the profit of that particular commodity, his supply would not change. His supply would either remain same or it may increase. So this is the goal of the firm, like how the motive of the firm affects the supply of a commodity. The next is the price of factors of production. We have 4 factors of production, that is land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. So the prices of these factors of production, it would also lead to change in supply. For example, like if the price of labor increases, then definitely the cost of production would rise. This means that the producer's profit will fall, so he will supply less. And if the price of factors of production, like if the price of labor would fall, then his cost of production will also fall and he will get more profit. Therefore, the producer would increase his supply. So according to the prices of factors, his supply would also change according to the change in the cost of production. So that is the price of factors of production. And the next is the technology, that is the state of technology. If the state of technology has improved or advanced, then the cost of production would definitely be less and the producer would be able to produce more and he would increase his supply. And if the state of technology, it is outdated or backward or obsolete, then the cost of production would increase and the supply of the producer would increase. Because if the technology is outdated, then the producer would have to spend so much for the maintenance of the technology and his cost of production would rise and his profit would fall. Therefore, if the state of technology is outdated, the supply would fall, and if the state of technology is improved or advanced, then the supply of a commodity would increase. And the next is business expectation. In business expectation, we have 2, that is bullish expectation and bearish expectation. Bullish expectation is when the producer is willing to take risk, when he feels that his production would increase demand in the market, that he feels that he would not face any loss and he would gain profit and he is willing to take risk. That is called as bullish expectation. When he is willing to take risks, he would increase his production. Therefore, the supply of a commodity would increase. Whereas in bearish expectation, the producer is not willing to take risk and he is thinking that he will not get that much profit and there would be less demand. So the producer is not willing to take risk, therefore the supply of the commodity will fall. So according to the various expectation, if the producer expects that that there will be more demand, he will increase his supply, that is bullish expectation. And when the producer feels that there will be less demand or no demand, then he is not willing to take risk and he will decrease his production or decrease his supply. That is bearish expectation. And the last determinant is government policy. In government policy, we have taxation and subsidies. When the government imposes tax on the producer, what happens is that the cost of production of the producer, it increases. Now that from the profit he has to give some amount of profit to the government. So when the government imposes tax on the producer, the cost of production increases and the profit of the producer would fall. So when there is an increase in taxation, the producer would supply less. He would produce less output. And when there is a subsidies is the assistance given by the government. And when there is a subsidies provided by the government, then the cost of production of the producer would fall and he would get more profit. Therefore, his production or his supply will increase. So when there is a taxation, the supply would fall. And when there is a subsidies given by the government, then his supply would increase. This is how the government policy affects the supply of a commodity. So these are various 8 determinants which affects the supply of a commodity. That is first one, price of on commodity, and the remaining are called together as other factors. First one is own price of the commodity, and These are all together called as other factors affecting supply of a commodity. So now let us go through a law of supply. This law of supply, it states that other things being constant, other things means all other factors except own price of commodity. All other factors remaining constant, quantity supply increase with increase in its own price, and vice versa. It means that when we keep all other factors as constant, and if only the price of the commodity increases, then the supply of the commodity would increase. And when the price of the commodity falls, then the supply of the commodity will also fall. So whenever we talk about one factor, we have to keep all other factors as constant, because if we do not keep other factors as constant, then the price of increase in commodity may not lead to increase in the supply of a commodity. So when we talk about price of own price of commodity, we have to keep all other factors as constant. Otherwise, this law of supply, it may not be valid. So let's go through the schedule. First schedule or first table, price of X increased from rupees 5 to rupees 10. Therefore, the quantity supply of commodity X, it also increased from 10 units to 20 units. There is a rise in both prices of good X and also the quantity supply of good X. And in the second table, when the price of good X falls from rupees 10 to rupees 5, then the quantity supply of good X, it also falls from 20 units to 10 units. So from these two schedules, we can see that this law of supply is applied. That is, when there is an increase in price of good X, there is an increase in supply of good X. Other factors remaining constant, and vice versa, which means that when the price of commodity decreases, then the supply of commodity X, it also decreases. And there is few exceptions in the law of supply, that every time when the price increases, the supply may not increase. For example, like due to natural calamities, if suppose there is a destruction in the resources, then if the prices of the vegetable or if the prices of the wheat, rice increases, then we may not be able to supply more of wheat or rice, because now the resources are destroyed. So at that point of time, the law of supply will not apply. That is, the price increase, supply increase, we will not be able to produce more because of the natural calamities. And also in case of the perishable goods, second is perishable goods, like perishable goods, these are for short duration. So if the price of the price of the product or the commodity increase, we may not be able to produce more, because if suppose the product does not get sold in the market, then like there will be more stock, and these perishable goods, it will get damaged or destroyed. So like the perishable goods, this law of supply does not apply. Last very important concept which we are going to learn today is the difference between movements along a supply curve and a shift in supply curve. This concept, it may come for 4 or 6 marks. So the movement along a supply curve, it leads to changes in quantity supply. That is, according to the change in price, the supply of a commodity would also change. Whereas in shifts in supply curve, it leads to changes in supply. That means it leads to change in the supply of a commodity, but the price of a commodity would remain same. So this change in supply, it is due to the other factors. That is, from the second factor to the last factor. This changes in supply, it occurs due to the other factors. Price of one commodity remain constant in this, whereas quantity supply changes due to change in prices. So In changes in quantity supply, we have two types, that is extension in supply and contraction in supply. From the extension in supply, from the name itself, extend means to increase or expand. So there is an increase in supply because of increase in price. Since there is a direct relationship between price and supply, this increase or extension in supply is caused due to increase in price from 20 units to 40 units because of increase in price, that is rupees 10 to rupees 20. And contraction in supply, it means decrease in quantity supply from 40 units to 20 units. The decrease in supply, it is caused due to decrease in price from rupees 20 to rupees 10. So the decrease in quantity supply due to decrease in price, it is called as contraction in supply. From the diagram, we can see that when the price of the good X increase from rupees 10 to rupees 20, there is an increase in quantity supply from 20 units to 40 units. So what happens is the supply curve, it moves upward along a same supply curve. And in the contraction in supply, when the price of a commodity falls from rupees 20 to rupees 10, the quantity supply of a commodity falls from 40 units to 20 units. So what happens is there is a downward movement along a supply curve. So in this movement along a supply curve, there is only one supply curve and there is a movement in supply curve. Either it moves upward when there is an increase in production, or it moves downward when there is a decrease in supply. So according to the changes in supply, the supply curve moves upward or downward. Whereas in shifts in supply curve, we have increase in supply and decrease in supply. Here, increase in supply, that is from 20 units to 40 units, it is due to the other factors. For example, like the number of firm. If suppose number of firm increases, then the supply would also increase. But here in this, the price of the commodity remain constant. So from the diagram, we can see that the supply curve, it shifts towards right, that is from 20 units to 40 units. It shifts towards right at a same price. So the increase in supply, it is caused due to the increase in other factors. And in decrease in supply, there is a decrease from 40 units to 20 units. There is a decrease in supply due to decrease in other factors. For example, like technology. The state of technology may have worsened or outdated. So because of the outdated technology, the supply would fall from 40 to 20, but the own price remain constant. So the supply curve would shift towards left, that is from SS to S1, S1. So in the shift in supply curve, there are two supply curve, that is old supply curve and new supply curve. So in shift in supply curve, the supply curve would either shift forward when there is an increase in supply, or shift backward when there is a decrease in supply. So this is the difference between movement along a supply curve and shift in supply curve. This supply curve, it is affected by the change in price, other factors remaining constant, whereas shift in supply curve, it is affected by other factors, own price of the commodity remaining constant. So these are the difference between movement along a supply curve and shift in supply curve. Teni 먼저 기 장교 디티스도 뒤치니 표현이시나 선수라 아니 다리 먼저 디 supply 장라 supply 더디다 producer 기 총박이 초니 아니 자라 가지 되게 되버더라 아니 공기 시송기 자라 가지 되게 되버더 디나 먼저 supply 체 디니 supply 더 stock 데라니 카가리스라 stock 라나 칼라나 디 producer 기 자라 큰 동니 거기 가지 된더라 자라 디 총나 땡겨다 호랑이 소라라 가절하도 디참모 동료들랑 먼저 스톡러라 데네 서플라이가 디칼라나 수수기 켄동 땡겨니 니기 가절 총나 정도도 로 디니기 총나 정도들랑 니기 서플라이더라 디직체 데네 아니 서플라이기 Kandi ki ni supply di gyuwa tego lana thangbo di susu rangi kong chirwa kong par na supply par gres kaji nana di producer la kong par di kola kepsa manga ragi yudi ra ani kogi supply di manga tangres chala ten manga tangre ra dine kesi kong di ma chaga china ani supply ya ma cha dugres kaji nana producer la ani ko di kong ra gores kepsa shida mara di ra ani dine kogi di supply di ma nyoru tangres Dimiwa de la ani dine individual demand the market demand and the individual demand there the somba chiki ani chala khaje tingu de ra khong di chala ge khong di jibu thi ani korang gi khong la pa we chala khande tingu de somba chiki thone ke ji shi go ra dine nga the market supply la the somba chazang gi dom ni and chala chik ra somba chazang gi dom ni ani khong di gyo thi ani korang zu gi di chala khaje tingu de ra gyo khaje thi pi do the somba chazang gi chala tingu de dom ba de la ani market supply lagres ra tene the supply la khandi ki gyo tangre ro anta thangpo dita ni supply khorang gi khong di ba che ro tene ngi ba de la an chala dewa yi gyo ro ani chala dewa yi gyo ko je khong di ani gyo thega chena chala shemba gi nya the supply and gyo thegres ro dila pecha shna da cha da tea da coffee da ni tani pesha ro ili chin kisi ni cha gi khong di parga chena ani 성박이 가지는 producer 가지는 잠 망아 때문에 가지는 콜라디 잔이 캡사라기 유디 거기 책차로 저기 이 커피디 가지는 용어된 그래서 도치니 잘라치기 공기 잘라 셴바기 서플라이다 칸디스 주어티도 딜랑서 price of related goods 처럼 되니 아니 숨바디 number of firm 라 안데시니 소다 가지 망아 이니기 잘라티네 디 망을 도레스 라 되니다 소다 가지 용어 이니 잘라티네 디 용어 도레 되니다 테크놀로지 라 테크놀로지 직다 야르게 도어지나 잘라 망아 티 도레 테크놀로지 키시 야르게 마도 와치 테크놀로지 닝바이나 안냐 잘라 용어 되도 직라 디치제 안 디네 가라디 factors of production 이게 잘라되나 강화 표줬던 것도 기시 이게 직디 인가지나 사자도 인가지나 사자 공파가지나 얘한테 프로듀서기 조선 파티 거기 잘라 용어되도 직라 사자기 공대 마차가지나 아니 거기 조선 용어도 냐 잘라 망아되도 직체 되니 government की policy government CG रा tax government की tax captive in producer की दोसो दे फर्क युति को गन्या चला न्यू आते हैं तो जिक्रा government की न्या subsidies दे दियो न्या दे producer ला फेंगी युति न्या को ही supply मांग आते हैं तो जिक तो छने अनि supply दे इन खंडी की क्यों थी तो रा supply मांग तो न्यू तो दे जिक छे देनी law of supply ला दिखला ना price की अनि the price chipo की इन supply ला खंडेस क्यों थी तो रा the shimba sangma khare the constant shache ro shimba ngajing PR GP and the government policy code of the firm in mambo chwa the sangma ngaj rangja shache price chipo chi kyo thena supply khandes kyo thi to the chikchara also the law of supply the khalana price pharka chana supply khadi ni pharka res ra price chana supply khadi ni chawres nyati 딱바리시 먼저 law of supply the tata de marisro samjang chikta 먼저 the natural disaster ro chunga china and the resource samatorshi theche and price phane and producer ki chala manga twin thumar kola chala twe ki ta nibagor yo marra onchini and price phane supply phargi maris chipoji yang as perishable goods chala thama thola rocho du sama kharana price phana and supply manga tang thumaris ro supply manga tangas na chala thola du bra kisi matin bachina chesa as price phana ta parish supply phargi maris ra law of supply the exceptions these shira the picture then thamadi in the movement along a supply curve the shift in supply curve and the movement along a supply curve la dikhalana price chipu ki ani supply la khandes jo thi to ra price phana supply pharwa tila manzo extension che price chana supply chawa tila manzo contraction chesa manzo extension la contraction yidi khachi la supply curve chigrang gala yama jo thi to ra kisi manzo extension inga china supply gang ya cha do ji nya kisi manzo the contraction inga china supply ne ma cha do ji ra kisi nya the shift in supply curve the la pa ye chu din ra kisi the shift in supply curve inga china ani the supply khajin do what wala na ani chala shimba jutani ra chik the goal of the firm price of related goods and the number of firm government policy to jula ta nikhala na ani supply ki what thing is di pula chala khorang gi khong dikhala na rangja shani ra onjin the di kap sa khaji na supply of the yama shift ching ro la pa ye chola de da yamana ye chola to sle di kisi supply ma ro to wasna ani la ba ye chola to shift chin ra ni kisi ya supply nyong do na nya ye chola to su le chin khum ni ra to chin supply de khajila na yang ma shift chin ra di kap so chala khorang ge khong de khala na rangja to sti ra che sa ma zo thari so the supply kala chang che and di kala di chinju ma zo ju shi chin chin de ta ju shi nga to chang ra di thari da lobjin sumpa ge ju shi thama de. So in today's session, that is the last session of the third unit, we learned the concept of supply and the various concepts included in supply, such as individual and market supply, and then the supply determines or supply function, and then the law of supply, and also the difference between supply and stock. And the last one we learned is the movement along a supply curve and the shift in supply curve. So this is the last concept of the third unit, and in the next session we will be starting with the fourth unit, that is the forms of market. Thank you so much for watching.